Hi students, this is Mr. Ariaga. I am your public speaking instructor. I wanted to send out this video to you all just so you know who I am and so you could put a face with the name. This class does not meet. This is a strictly online course. You might be thinking, okay, how do I take a public speaking course online? Well, thankfully, because of things like YouTube and the internet, we're able to do these things. So a lot of time we rely heavily on technology in this course. In fact, this coming week you're going to be learning how to record and post a YouTube video because all of the speeches, that's how we're going to do that. So I can view them and critique them. So this is my first semester teaching this course, so I hope you'll be patient with me because I'm trying to work some things out. I teach the interpersonal communications course at the college already. I've taught that almost 5 years. But this is the first semester teaching public speaking. There's a lot of things that are kind of overlap between the two courses, so that's good. If you've taken the course already, or interpersonal communications, you'll see some similarities, but this kind of goes a little bit further into public speaking, the art of public speaking. You're going to need this, and no matter what field you go into, you're going to need some fundamentals on how to speak in public. You may not necessarily be speaking to an auditorium full of people, like hundreds of people, but there's going to be a time where you're speaking to at least 2 or more people about something. Or even, the art of persuasion is really important. We're going to do a persuasive speech in this course, similar to the one we do in Speech 1311. Persuading it is changing the mind of someone. About what, it doesn't matter, but the art of persuading is very important. Whether you're asking your boss for more money, I feel that I've been a good employee, I feel I deserve X amount more because I did this for the company, this, and this. And so you have to have a very strong argument. And so I want you to think about this class in those terms, that, this isn't just talking about standing in an auditorium and talking to people. You're going to be doing this no matter what line of work. You're going to have to, there's some aspect from this course that you're going to use. So I want you to get a real world aspect from this class. So even away from the actual textbook, I want you to get something from this class, like, just dealing with life. Like, there are consequences for your actions and lack of actions in life and in this course. If you don't turn in an assignment, you're going to get a 0. Simple. Or if you don't ask a question or something like that, and you should have because you weren't clear on something, and you didn't follow part of the assignment, and you got your grade was impacted. I want you to be to think critically and be proactive about things. If there's something that you're not clear on, you need to ask. I used to not say anything when I was in college, and then I wouldn't understand it and then I didn't do well on an assignment. It's because I just didn't ask. I didn't have the courage to ask. The good thing about an online class is you just type an email. You don't actually have to come and talk to me or talk to a professor. That's the beauty about online. Of course, when I was in college and grad school, that really didn't exist much back then, but it's a thing now, and it's the internet's a very powerful tool, and it's a good thing. So, like I said, a little bit about me. I teach the Coastman College. I'm based out of Beeville. Like I said, this class doesn't actually meet physically. We do everything online through Blackboard. Revel has been an issue already this semester. Just know that it's probably really frustrating for you, but it's probably even more frustrating for me because, one, there's so little that I can do with Revel to help you. And that's why if you've been contacting me, I put I ask you if you talk to customer service, because I'm very limited of what I can do. I can't add students to the class because then the publisher doesn't get the money if you don't buy the access card. So why would they let me put students in the class when bypassing payment, stuff like that? So there's very little I can do, and I apologize for that. This is the second semester that we've used Revel. Lucky for you, my classes last semester, I experimented with doing all the assignments online or on Revel, and we're not going to do that because it was a giant mess for me. Because, one, it was thrown at me a week before the semester started, and I had no formal training on it, and so I just kind of winged it, and I've guessed a lot of times, even asking my rep and not getting response and getting impatient, and it just was a giant mess. So I've opted to write my own assignments. So the only thing we're going to be using Revel for is the reading assignment. So you're actually just going to read on Revel. The good thing, the one thing I really like about Revel is the way you can access it. You can use it on your phone, you can download it on your device, and there's an audiobook option. So if you want to listen to the chapter, if you have to drive a distance every day, or you go running every morning or something like that, you can download it and listen to it like an audiobook, like you would a podcast, or like audible.com, where you have the audiobooks. It's really cool, and so that's kind of why I stuck with it, because there are other ways to absorb the material. Now, I've already said you can purchase the textbook, but you have to have the access card, because that's the way we're going to do everything. That's what the school requires, and so that's what the bookstore has. I don't know if they have the actual physical textbook or not, but you can order off Amazon or something like that. If you're more a visual person, you can do that. It's an option, but you have to have the access card. I've had students if you wanted to use the previous edition, you can buy them on Amazon for a lot cheaper, $10, $15 if you want to have that. All the material is the same, but it's laid out differently. There's little videos in the chapter. There's some really cool content, and so hopefully we can get around this issue. That's why I don't have any of the Revel assignments the first few weeks, just because students have trouble getting in. And then some students, your financial aid may not have come through. The good thing is there's a free trial option with Revel, and so you can get a 14-day trial while you're waiting for your financial aid or student loans or something like that to kick in. So, which is nice. We didn't have that with textbooks, and so it affected a lot of students when they couldn't get the textbook, because the access card is a lot cheaper than the textbook. I think a brand new textbook is almost $200, and the access card's like $75, $76, something like that. It's a lot. It's less. So that's a good thing. So just be patient with me. I'll make sure that we have everything that we need. We still have another week. So week 3, our reading assignments will start taking place. So what we'll cover, usually 2 chapters a week sometimes, and then there's going to be a reading assignment. So basically you take what you've learned from the chapter, and then you apply it. So the reading assignments will have vocabulary words, and on those I don't want just you to regurgitate what you read in the chapter. I want you to think about it. There are short answer questions, so 1 to 200 words. They're in the instructions on what would you do, or what have you, situational type questions. What have you done? When have you used this, that kind of thing, type questions, and then some fill in the blank. The good news about these reading assignments is I get a lot of times these same questions appear on your exams. So it's study guide, because I don't actually give an exam review. I don't give or study guides. So the reading assignments are your study guide. So it's in your best interest to make sure that you do them, because they count for your assignment grade, but it also helps you review for a test. One thing you'll find out about me, I'm very strict on some things. Deadlines, everything's the same. They're assigned on Sunday at 11:59, and then the new assignments are assigned on Sundays at 11:59. Some of the speeches you'll have longer. I'll always tell you if there's a different due date, but I'm a creature of habit, and so I build the class basically on that. So you'll always know when your assignments are due. You're never guessing. You always have 7 days to do them, so you turn them in Sunday at 11:59. This does not mean you start them on Sunday morning. I give you 7 days so that you make sure that you do the work and put the time in, because some of our other projects, I'm going to be able to tell if you only did it in a day or two. I can tell, or if you did it that night. I've been doing this for a while. Like I said, I've been teaching a while, and so I can spot these things. I've also spent 6 years in college, so there are things that I remember doing, like certain fonts make make a paper slightly longer, and I've done those types of things before. So you just need to. Sorry, my computer just locked on me, and my watch didn't unlock it. Anyway, my computer's right here, my laptop, and then I have a monitor right here, and so I couldn't see anything on screen. So that's mainly the issue. So and I think I've covered this already. If you're not sure of something, you need to ask me, because the worst thing you can do is guess incorrectly, and have it impact your grade. There are there are consequences for your actions and lack of action in this course, and it applies to not only college, it applies to life. If you don't do something, if you don't, like in my line of work, if I don't file the taxes correctly or turn in a report to the federal government, we get fined, or there's always something that can happen. So this class should be no different, and I want you to get at least something from this course, whether it's based on the textbook or just knowing how to use upload things, I just want you to get something from this class. And this just leads me to my last point I want to make. Like I said, if you have questions, ask me. Communication is key, so you need to communicate with me. The only way of doing it in this course is using the mail function in Blackboard. The same tab where you go to check your grades, things like that, there's a mail function. And so you just click on that. You can choose my name. You can also send email to the rest of the class and communicate with the rest of the class. So if you're not sure of something, you send an email out to your classmates. There's no rule against that, especially when you're having an issue, or you're not sure of something, or anything. If you want to communicate with your classmates, you can do that. But that's the only way of communicating with me. I don't have a campus phone number. I don't respond to email through my CBC email address. I teach 4 classes, and so by using Blackboard, all my emails is separate. So I don't have to spend time trying to figure out or trying to remember a conversation that we had, because it's all right in there. You'd be surprised how much email I get from CBC in a day. So that I don't provide my cell phone number anymore, because I have students text me at all hours of the night, call me. I've had students call like on a holiday, and I used to post when it was accessible to try to call me, and it just never worked. So the only way to do it is Blackboard. So email is key. I send a lot of emails or announcements weekly, sometimes daily, just depending if something came up. If I get more than one of the same question, I send out an announcement right away. That means I didn't explain something correctly, or I messed up on something, or anything like that. So a lot of times, if there is an issue and I sent to an announcement, but I didn't respond to you specific, that's why. And if you have something beyond that one topic, you need to let me know, and then we'll go from there. But like I said, you've got to communicate with me. I know there's going to be times where you may have issues in life, and normally I do not accept late work. I give you 7 days, but things come up, and you just need to communicate with me prior to the deadline, and we'll figure it out. But if it's just because you have several classes and you've got projects, well, part of getting credit for a college course is you got to juggle. So if you take more than one, or even if you take one and have a job, that's part of the game with college. You've got to learn how to juggle and multitask. There are times where I have to take my computer on a vacation, or I've even flying somewhere. I even purchased the really expensive internet on a plane so I could respond to email or grade while I'm flying somewhere. You just have to prioritize. This class doesn't have to be your top priority, but it needs to be a priority. Especially if this is the first time you've ever taken a college course, or if you're still in high school. I teach this at a college level, and like I said, I'm very strict about certain things, but I'm also fair. I'm going to always, if you get an answer from me, it's the same answer I've given to another classmate. I'm very fair. I'll say no because I have to treat everyone the same, and that kind of thing. And it's not because I'm trying to be mean. I need to be fair to everybody else. I mean, there are times where exceptions can be made, and so we'll deal with them then, but it's on a case-by-case basis. But that's just how I operate the class. You should be aware already of my policies. The acknowledgement of syllabus is basically like a contract between you and me. And basically, you're aware of all my policies and the way the class is conducted. And every one of those questions came from a situation that I've run into since I've started teaching. And so I just keep adding to that list. And like I said, I'm very transparent. I'm very consistent, and never I'm trying to do something just to be mean. There's a reason why I do it, and then I always explain to you why I say no about something. And I just feel I owe that to you as an instructor. I'm just not going to say no and not give you a reason. I'm always going to explain why. So just know that that's where I come from when if you don't get the answer you necessarily like, there's a reason why, and I will always do my best to explain it. And if you still don't understand, you can ask, but I don't want you to think that if you just keep responding, keep asking, or demanding, that it's going to change. It won't. I just want to clarify why I've taken a certain position on something, because like I said, I got to be fair, and that's just kind of how it works. So anyway, that's all I really wanted to go over with y'all. I'm going to try to post more of these videos as the semester progresses. I always start the semester wanting to do more, than it always kind of fizzles, but I at least get that first email or video out there. But I'm going to try to do a little more this semester, but just be patient with me. Like I said, the course calendar is going to be the only way that you know what's going on. And if something changes, I will post a new one and send an announcement out, and send the new updated calendar, and also put the date it was updated. So as soon as a new one comes out, you're responsible for that one. So you need to if you need to print them out and keep them, or save them to your computer so you can always see them. Do whatever you need to do on that. But just know there's a reason. Sometimes we don't get all our chapters in before an exam, and I'll push back the exam, or I'll change an assignment if it didn't work. Just be flexible. And if something changes, and like I said, if I post an assignment that I choose not to do anymore, or something like that, just know it'll never affect you. I'll remove it, and I'll tell you we're not going to do that. Don't worry about it. There was one in my other class that I used last semester, and it was a Revel assignment, and I'm having more issues this semester with it, and so I removed it. And so you're not responsible for that, but it was still on the calendar, so that's why I made a change. So that's the reason I do that. Just be flexible. There's no semester that I teach a class exactly the same. I'm always rewriting assignments, that kind of thing. So I'm learning. You're a lifelong learner, no matter what. If you're even, in my position as an instructor, you learn on a continual basis, and you evolve and change. So anyway, that's all I want to talk to you about. If you have specific questions so far, just email me and I'll respond as soon as I can. Okay, we'll talk to you later.